Hey, what's up, fans? Welcome back to the show. Guys, time to rise. I know we missed last week, but here we are. It's college football season. We had college football, some games on last Saturday. We had a handful of games on last night. But yeah, college football is officially back. We got a whole lineup of games on tonight. Michigan State opening up the season against Florida Atlantic University, so that should be an interesting one there. And then Michigan, we're going to talk about them a little bit in today's episode. They're going up against Fresno State. Night game on NBC and Peacock tomorrow night at 7:30 under the lights at the Big House. So that's going to be a really interesting game there. Obviously, Michigan, the defending undefeated national champions of college football. They lost a lot of talent on offense and a handful of guys on defense, so this team's going to look very different this year. Obviously, J.J. McCarthy's gone to the NFL. He's actually going to be out for the remainder of the 2024 season. Even before it starts, man, a rookie. He tore his ACL and tore a meniscus in his knee, and he's out for the season. So that's very unfortunate coming out of Minnesota. But yeah, he's gone. So now it comes down to who's going to be the starting quarterback. We still haven't heard anything from the Michigan football team. So who knows if Alex Orji is going to be the starting quarterback or Davis Warren. Those are the two front runners for the starting job. So we'll see what happens. You know, obviously when Jim Harbaugh was there and Cade McNamara was there and J.J. McCarthy, they were playing around with the starting quarterback position. Wouldn't tell us till game day who was starting. It's kind of a similar situation here. We don't know who's going to be starting to tomorrow night's game. We'll just have to see. Maybe they're going to go with a two quarterback system, or maybe choose either Alex Orji or Davis Warren. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll talk about them a little bit. But yeah, college football. Very exciting to be back. I watched the game last night against, it was Colorado and North Dakota State. Very interesting game, but Colorado was able to sneak one by, winning 31-26 on home field. Deion Sanders back in the win column. A lot of hype going to last season with that team. They kind of fell off the map a little bit towards the end of the season. So we'll see what happens this year. Great way to start off the year, though. Shedeur Sanders, his son, the starting quarterback, looked absolutely phenomenal last night. So, yeah, that was a great game to watch. And then, obviously, tonight, Michigan State going up against Florida Atlantic. And then last Saturday, we had Florida State and Georgia Tech duking it out in Dublin, Ireland, going overseas and playing a football game. And Florida State lost, number 10th ranked Florida State Seminoles, upset by Georgia Tech. It was crazy, but not surprising because it seems like Florida State has really gone downhill ever since they last won a national championship back in 2013. So, yeah, I wonder how that's going to play out this year for that program. But yeah, we'll get started. We'll get right into it. We got college football, obviously. That time of year, the best time of the year. I said it numerous times on this podcast. I love football. Football season is officially here, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait. You know, like I said, we got some games on tonight. I might have to check that Michigan State game out. You know, see what they're up to. You know, really haven't heard a whole lot from their program this offseason. So we'll see. We'll see what happens tonight as they take on the Florida Atlantic University at Spartan Stadium. So that's going to be an interesting matchup there. 7 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. So all you Sparties out there, check that game out if you're interested. But yeah, we had a whole bunch of games on yesterday. Utah taking care of business against Southern Utah, and kind of a joke game there. You had Elkhorn State getting destroyed by UAB, 41-3. And then, like I mentioned, Colorado taking care of business last night, going up against North Dakota State, winning 31-26, and a great matchup there. Shedeur Sanders throwing for 445 yards. Travis Turner, the wide receiver for Colorado, he had a big game as well. I think he had 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards, and 100 yards receiving. Double-digit receptions. So yeah, it looks like that's going to be a very interesting storyline to follow this year. See if Colorado can actually compete this year. But yeah, defeating North Dakota State, that was a good game on last night. And then yeah, I got a couple games on tonight. Duke playing. You got Western Michigan, Wisconsin, and then as I mentioned, Florida Atlantic and Michigan State going at it. So yeah, place your bets and watch some football. TCU and Stanford going at it. So that's going to be a good one as well. And then tomorrow, this is the big matchups going on for week 1 of college football, or really week 2. I mean, if you want to count last Saturday as being week 1 with Florida State and Georgia Tech. But this Saturday, yeah, we got a whole bunch of them. We got Clemson, number 14 Clemson, traveling to number 1 Georgia. Georgia ranked number 1 by the AP top 25 poll this offseason. So we got that going on. Georgia Bulldogs playing at home, 12 o'clock on ABC and ESPN+. That's going to be a good one. I'll definitely be watching that one. The line is minus 11.5 according to ESPN Bet, and the over and under is 48.5. So some betting lines for all you sports gambling degenerates out there. Play some bets, watch some football. Should be an interesting game. I do believe Georgia's going to take care of business though. They'll win that one at home against Clemson. But yeah, 2 big names, 2 big schools going at it. Should be a good one there. You got Penn State at West Virginia at noon tomorrow on Fox. Yeah, we got a lot of games here. You got Ohio State and Akron, number 2 Ohio State going on there. You got number 4 Texas at home going against Colorado State, 3:30 on ESPN. So that's going to be an interesting one because Michigan actually plays Texas next weekend. That's our second game of the season. And I think I did mention on this podcast that's going to be the defining game of Michigan's season. I mean, you're facing a top 10 team, Texas, college football playoff semi-finalists last season. Second game of the season. It's going to be crazy. Noon kickoff. So yeah, definitely that's going to have a lot of eyes, a lot of attention on that game, and that's going to be a season-defining game. I said it on the podcast. Michigan, they obviously have to win that game, and then from there, like I said in numerous years past, got to kick ass, take care of it, take care of business, and win games. But yeah, that's going to be a really interesting one next weekend. Michigan and Texas. Definitely going to define the season, in my opinion. I know it's only the second game of the season, but it's a big one. It's a really important one for the Maize and Blue. So we got that going on. But this week, however, we don't have to worry about them. We got Fresno State on Saturday night, but Texas and Colorado State going at it, and you got Miami at Florida, 3:30 on ESPN and ESPN Plus and ABC. So that's going to be a good one there. You got. Yeah, Michigan, as I mentioned, Michigan and Fresno State, 7:30 on NBC and Peacock. I do believe NBC and Peacock have reached an agreement with the Big Ten to show some games this year. So yeah, we'll probably see a few games of Michigan on the network there. So yeah, we got Fresno State and Michigan, 7:30 p.m. The line's minus 21 points for Michigan, and the under and over is 45.5 points for that game. But yeah, under the lights at the Big House in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Great place. Been there a few times for football games. That atmosphere is insane, man. It really is. It's truly a one-of-a-kind stadium there. So yeah, let's talk about Michigan a little bit, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast. So yeah, Michigan looking like a very different team this year. New coach, Sherrone Moore. He was the assistant head coach last year. He coached a few games because Harbaugh got suspended early in the season, 3 games, and then towards the end of the season, he got suspended 3 games. I think the first time it was involving recruiting violations and stuff like that. The second time was the whole sign stealing scandal that's still being kind of investigated, still being talked about a little bit. There's a documentary on Netflix if you guys haven't checked it out, The Untold Stories. The series that Netflix came out a couple years ago. A lot of great documentaries there. I just watched the one on Steve McNair the other night. Pretty good. I felt like it was rushed. I didn't, they were going back and forth between Steve McNair's career and then obviously the tragic murder involving him and his girlfriend at the time. But I believe that one was a little bit rushed. I didn't really care for that one, but the one I have to watch next is the sign stealing scandal, because me being a Michigan fan, I gotta see how this all plays out. Maybe Netflix is going to exaggerate a little bit. Just like with any production, you got to add a little exaggeration, a little excitement to it. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that, that whole situation. Connor Stallions putting a black mark on the program, it sounds like, but I don't know. Obviously, I haven't heard anything of no concrete evidence or proof that whole thing went down, the whole sign stealing scandal. As many Connor Stallions was a former staff member of the Michigan football program, and apparently he was involved in this scheme where he would pay people to go to these games against Michigan's future opponents and really spy on their play calling, the hand signals and everything, to try to get an upper advantage, a competitive advantage over Michigan's former or future and current opponents for college football. So yeah, it was a crazy story coming out last year, and I remember when it came out, it was right around the same time we beat Michigan State last year, and it kind of ruined what we had going. Obviously the undefeated season, the national championship, and now there's going to be an asterisk behind that, right? Because did Michigan cheat? Did they get outside help? Did Connor Stallions devise that scheme and really ruin this great season that Michigan football and the Michigan Wolverines had? I don't know. We got to definitely dive into that a little bit more. And they're probably going to talk about it a lot during the season. Probably going to talk about it a handful of times tomorrow night when they go up against Fresno State. But yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out already, Netflix has that documentary, Untold, Sign Stealer, I do believe it's called. Check it out. It's going to be a good one. The Brides has to check it out as well. But yeah, I did see that there. So yeah, let's go back to Michigan. So yeah, obviously different team this year. New quarterbacks. Obviously Blake Corum's gone. He's with the Rams now. So you got Donovan Edwards, probably going to be the starting quarterback. His production last year dipped down quite a bit. Blake Corum was definitely carrying the load on the rushing attack, but now with Blake Corum gone, you got Donovan Edwards coming back, and we're going to see a lot of him this year, hopefully, because his production a couple years ago was absolutely amazing. I still remember the Ohio State game at the Horseshoe, those two long runs for touchdowns when we beat Ohio State. I think that was the second time a couple years ago in Columbus, Ohio. That was awesome to see that. So hopefully that kind of production comes back for Donovan Edwards. He's a great player. I like watching him. But we'll have to see. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He has dealt with some injuries over the past couple of seasons at the Big House, so hopefully he can stay healthy and kick some ass this year. But yeah, it seems like a lot of everyone on offense left. I read an article on the Detroit Free Press that it was all but one player coming back from the offense. So JJ McCarthy's gone, Blake Corum's gone, Cornelius Johnson's gone, Roman Wilson's gone. Those were our targets, those were our weapons on offense. And then defense, we got Junior Colson gone, you got Michael Barrett gone, Mike Samer still one of the best defensive backs we had, one of the key playmakers for our defense the past couple years. He's gone. Chris Jenkins is gone, but now we got some guys coming back. We got Mason Graham on the defensive line coming back. He had a good season last year. And you got Kenneth Grant coming back. Rashawn Benny. These are guys can step up to the plate and make a name for themselves. Braden McGregor, I do believe he's gone as well. Quentin Johnson, he's coming back. So yeah, a handful of guys on defense gone. So it's going to be a completely different team this year. I'm actually pretty excited. See what Michigan can do, winning back-to-back national championships in any sport, but especially in college football. It is, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's very tough to accomplish. I mean, who was the last team to win back-to-back? I do believe it was USC. Correct me if I'm wrong, that 04, 05, they won the national championships. I do believe with that, because 2003 was LSU, I do believe. 2002 was Ohio State. So yeah, I think the last back-to-back national champions in college football was USC back in the early to mid 2000s. But yeah, winning national, especially now, in the Big Ten, the Big Ten conference expanded. We got USC now, UCLA, Pac-12, the teams, right? Oregon, Washington, all Pac-12 teams, Pac-12 teams coming into the Big Ten. It's crazy, it's crazy. It seems like the Pac-12 is not even going to exist in a couple years. But yeah, the Big Ten has expanded, so it's going to be really difficult for the Maize and Blue to, repeat as champions. What they did last year, regardless of the sign stealing scandal, regardless of any of the other bullshit that was going on with that program, it was phenomenal. I mean, to beat Ohio State again, thank God. But I don't know about this year though. Ohio State looks pretty damn good. Got a lot of 4-star and 5-star recruits. Ryan Day is definitely on the hot seat. I'm pretty sure the university told him, hey, you got to beat Michigan this year, especially since that game's in Columbus this year, not in Ann Arbor. You have to win that game. So a lot of pressure for Ohio State this year. They're ranked number 2. We're ranked number 9, even though we're the defending national champions, which I thought was crazy, but it is what it is, The AP top 25, they always like to excite us before the season starts. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, like I said, different. You're gonna see different names out there, different faces. The starting quarterback, we still don't know. Like I said, Alex Orji and Davis Warren battling it out for the starting quarterback position. So we'll see. I mean, Alex Orji, can he throw downfield like JJ did and could? He does have legs. He can run. I've seen him run a few times. Davis Warren, haven't seen a whole lot of highlights on him. But we'll see what he can do. Like I mentioned earlier, maybe Michigan's going for a 2 quarterback system. Maybe they're going, for that game, especially Fresno State. Maybe that'll be like a scouting game, for Michigan, see who's going to be good enough to go up against Texas the following week. Obviously, we got to take care of Fresno State because everyone's like writing off Fresno State. It's like, nah, we've seen, especially Michigan fans, we know what it's all about when being upsetted. Appalachian State, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So yeah, many years ago, it was nightmare times. I do believe that was Lloyd Cards last year, and then the following year we had Rich Rod, and he destroyed that program. But anyways, better times now. We got Sherrone Moore at the helm, the defending national champions, undefeated, the defending Big Ten champion, back-to-back. Michigan winning the Big Ten championships 2 years in a row, looking for their third Big Ten championship, and then obviously taking care of Ohio State again for the 4th time. It's going to be very tough this year. But yeah, we're going to see a lot of different faces. And then, like I said, the running backs, you got Donovan Edwards, and it's carried the load there. You got Kalel Mullings, big dude, coming back for his senior year. Benjamin Hall, Leon Franklin, some names you're probably going to be seeing. Tyvier Dunlap, senior, probably going to see him run the ball. Cole Cabana, sophomore out of Dexter, Michigan. He was recruited by Michigan a couple years ago. Might see him in action. So we'll see. And then our wide receivers really looking a lot different. I don't see any big names. Samaj Morgan, obviously we saw him. Tyler Morris. They had a couple good games last year. Samaj Morgan, sophomore from West Bloomfield, Michigan, and Tyler Morris entering his junior year from Illinois. So definitely going to see them probably get some more action, more looks this season. And obviously Colston Loveland, our beloved tight end, he's probably going to see a lot of the tight end work going into the season. Junior out of Idaho. Some big, Max Bredesen, another tight end there, senior. So yeah, it's going to look a lot different this year. And then our offensive line, some big names there. Yeah, Gentry, he's coming back. So a lot of names there. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a different looking Michigan football program tomorrow night against Fresno State. But I truly believe Michigan can win, and I do believe they will win against the Fresno State Bulldogs. First game under the lights at Michigan Stadium. It's going to be a good one. Go Blue, take care of business as you guys always do, and yeah, good luck this season. It's going to be a crazy one for those Michigan Wolverines. Team's going to look a lot different. I just hope Donovan Edwards can stay healthy, and whoever the starting quarterback is, you got to lead us to victory, because that's what it's all about. And then our defense, you got to take care of business. You got to definitely match what you did last year, top 10 defense last year in college football. So yeah, you got that game. Michigan going up against Fresno State, 7:30 NBC Peacock. Check that one out. Who else do we have? Oregon's playing against Idaho, and then Notre Dame. This is one I was looking at. Notre Dame, number 7 Notre Dame. They put Notre Dame ahead of Michigan. That's crazy. Going up against number 20 Texas A&M, 7:30 on ABC. That's gonna be an interesting game too. At home, I like Texas A&M. Notre Dame just kind of scares me a little bit, but you never know. They could have a good season. But yeah, that's gonna be another good game. So 3 highlight games for me tomorrow. You got Georgia and Clemson. You got Notre Dame and Texas A&M, and then you got Fresno State and Michigan. So we'll see what happens with that. Alabama going up against Western Kentucky. It's crazy that we don't talk about Alabama that much anymore because Nick Saban is no longer the head coach there. It feels weird because growing up, ever since I was a kid, my teenage years, my young adult years, Alabama dominated college football. But now it seems like they're regressing a little bit. And, when Michigan beat them in semifinals last year to go to the national championship game, that was crazy. That was probably one of the best games, most exciting games I ever watched in my life. The 4th down stop from the Michigan's defense in overtime, may I remind you, against the Crimson Tide, and that was the game-sealing tackle to send us to the national championship game against Washington. So, yeah, that was insane, man. That was crazy. It was crazy to see that. So, yeah, we got that. But, yeah, a bunch of games on tomorrow. Watch, find a comfortable spot in your house. Find that perfect spot on the couch and watch some football. And then Sunday, you got USC and LSU, 7:30 on the ABC. And then Monday, Labor Day, you got Boston College at Florida State. So Florida State trying to rebound from that embarrassing loss to Georgia Tech last Saturday in Dublin, Ireland. 7:30 ESPN on Monday, Labor Day. Labor Day, ladies and gentlemen, have a good weekend here in Michigan. It's supposed to be hot. It's supposed to be nice. So all you, anyone else around the country, especially in Michigan, if you guys are traveling, have a good time. Enjoy the Labor Day and the Labor Day weekend and watch some college football. So yeah, we got all that taken care of. So now we got to jump into the NFL. It officially starts next Thursday. You got Baltimore traveling to Kansas City, so it's going to be Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson once again, 8:20 p.m. on NBC and Peacock. The defending Super Bowl champions Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs going up against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. So that's a great way to start off the 2024 NFL season. I will definitely make my picks as I usually do here on the podcast next week. But yeah, we'll definitely have to dive into that a little bit more. But that's going to be a good game. Like I said, a great way to start off the 2024 season. Kansas City opening up again. Obviously, they went up against the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions taking care of business last year on the road. That was a crazy game. But now this year, the 2024 season, the Kansas City Chiefs opening up once again against the Baltimore Ravens. It's going to be a good one. But I'll make my picks next week on next week's episode. So you got that. And then Friday, going down to Brazil, you got Green Bay and Philadelphia. That's going to be a good one there. And then you got a whole lineup of games. And then week 1 concludes on Sunday night. You got the Los Angeles Rams coming back to the Motor City, taking on the Detroit Lions, 8:20 on NBC and Peacock. So that place is going to be bumping. You already know. A lot of people are going to be there. It's going to be packed. It's going to be loud for all 4 quarters. This is a rematch of the wild card round of the playoffs last year. That was a great game to watch. The Detroit Lions win their first playoff game in 32 years. I do believe 92, 2024. Yeah, so I think it was 31 or 32 years. The first playoff win. It was at home against the Rams and the returning Matthew Stafford. So how does he get received this time? Obviously, playoff football is a lot different than regular season football. Maybe this time the people will praise Matthew Stafford, give him the respect that I believe he deserves. But we'll see. Detroit Lions fans, they're excited, they're loud, they're ready, they're waiting. They've been waiting for this moment for a long time. So have I. So have a lot of people in Michigan, probably around the world too. So yeah, Sunday Night Football, one of 5, I do believe, primetime games that the Detroit Lions have this year. It's going to be a good one. Michigan opens up as a 3.5-point favorite. The under and over is going to be 50.5. So the odds makers has this game being a high-scoring game, but that's going to be a good one. So Sunday Night Football next week, Sunday. Not this week coming up. The following Sunday, September 8th. Los Angeles Rams, they're returning Matthew Stafford, coming back to the Motor City to take on the Detroit Lions, the defending NFC North champions. Should have been the NFC conference champions, but it is what it is. That's going to be a good game. Check it out. The Brides is all in on that. That's going to be an exciting game. And then obviously week 1 wraps up. We got the New York Jets traveling to the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football, 8:20 on ESPN. And like I said, I'll make all my picks for week 1 of the 2024 NFL season next week on next week's episode. So yeah, we'll see if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy going up against the San Francisco 49ers. So with that, I know it's very football focused. Obviously, we got some UFC matchups coming up. We got UFC going on next Saturday. Gilbert Burns in action going up against Sean Brady. And then you got UFC 306. Sean O'Malley defending the bantamweight title against Merab. And then you got the co-main event, women's flyweight championship on the line. You got Alexa Grasso going up against Valentina Shevchenko. Obviously, a rematch from many months ago when they fought for the flyweight title, and Alexa Grasso choked out or submitted Valentina Shevchenko to become the new women's flyweight champion. So that's going to be a good one. So 2 title fights there, and then Brian Ortega and Diego Lopez going at it. Same card. So this is a couple weeks from now. Not this Saturday. Not this Saturday. You got a couple Saturdays for that one. Saturday, September 14th at 10 o'clock. So yeah, some UFC coming up. I'm sure there's some boxing fights coming up. Canelo Alvarez, he's supposed to compete that same night, same venue. So I don't know how the UFC and boxing are going to work that out. That's going to be crazy. And then obviously many months later in November, it's supposed to be Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. That's going to be crazy on Netflix. But yeah, that's going to be a shit show. But we'll see. Anything can happen, I guess. But yeah, with that, thank you for joining me on this long and awesome episode, football focused episode of Guys Time with the Brides. So thank you for joining me again. As you can see, I got the Detroit Lions hat, I got the Detroit Lions shirt on. I'm ready for football. I'm ready for this weekend. I'm ready for the NFL starting next Thursday between the Chiefs and the Rams. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode. As you guys all know, the audio version is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and then the video is going to be available on my YouTube page at Guys Time with the Brides. So check that out and enjoy this Labor Day weekend wherever you are, especially here in Michigan. It's supposed to be nice, it's supposed to be hot, it's supposed to be sunny. So stay safe out there. Enjoy the Labor Day weekend. Got kids going back to school, so have a good school year. Have a fun and safe school year. Have a fun and safe Labor Day weekend. Watch some football, play some bets, and yeah, enjoy this weekend. College football is back, baby. I'm excited. So watch some football. The Brides is already on that, ready to go. I got my spot picked out on the big in the basement, watching on the big screen, watching some college football, and then obviously the pros starting next week. The Brides is ready to go. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me again. You guys are amazing. Check this episode out, and you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, your Labor Day weekend. All right, peace out. Take care, guys. You guys are awesome.